my name is Jean Lane, and I've recently retired from teaching high school language arts. I've taught in Wisconsin, Virginia, and most recently in Missouri. And over the years I've had some immigrants, but my most recent experience in South County in Afton from 2001 to 2006 was with Afton students from Bosnia, a lot of immigrants from Bosnia. My point of view of teaching Bosnians does not reflect any other teacher or that particular school district. For the most part, I taught juniors and seniors. They knew the language, so they were not any different to me than other students. However, if one was to speak to the ESL teachers, you might have a totally different point of view, because I didn't have a language barrier, so that was not a concern in my classroom. As far as assimilating into the culture, they dressed just like our teenagers. They did stick among themselves. If you weren't assigned seats, I'm sure the classroom they all would have sat together. You saw them together in the hallways. They ate together in the cafeteria, so yes, they did stick to their own groups. There were Muslim Bosnians, there were Christian Bosnians, and I couldn't tell you who was who if they segregated themselves, but if you saw the overall picture of the student body, you wouldn't know who was Bosnian and who was a Missourian, because they didn't stand out in any way in their dress or manner. I rarely heard them speak their native language among themselves. One difference was with parent-teacher conferences. You would get very, very few immigrants' parents to these conferences. I'm sure it's because they felt that they were not adequate with the language. Our school always offered translators and interpreters, but from my point of view, I had very little participation from the Bosnian parents. Now, if I were to call home, chances are I would probably be speaking to an older brother or sister instead of the parent, but they were always very supportive and always listened to me and were not critical of the school system at all. They wanted to help out. They were very concerned that their students were behaving. So if you called home, you would get a positive response, but you would probably never see the parents very often. And I think it was due to the language. They probably felt inadequate about it. Thinking in the past, like once again, I never thought of these are my Bosnian students, these are my African American students, these are my white students. You don't think that way. They're just all students. If they have a problem, you try and help them. You try to contact home. You get a counselor to help. The Bosnian students, in my mind, didn't stand out at all as anything different from your typical high school teenager student. I'd have to say the overall experience was pleasant. Nothing was unpleasant about it.